Hey, Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
So I just got done once again trying to schedule a meeting between
Yeah.
everybody. Looks like schedules aren't gonna match. I think
That's unfortunate.
Gunner said he needs some people. I'm assuming you, but some others as well. Mayor's leaving in 45 minutes and then he's back at 7 p.m. So I'm looking to just like, let's just make it simple for everybody and maybe we just get the concerns in paper. Gunner's going to be doing that. And I want to make sure you're appraised as well. I mean, short circuit everything because if it's like 2 bullet points, you know what I mean? Well, that's easy, right? But if it's like a huge philosophical debate, well, that's something else.
Yeah, well, it is.
Is this your contest, by the way?
It is my contest, yeah.
Okay.
I was the one who originally brought it up. It was not Gunner. Everyone's been running through and saying, oh, it's Gunner, it's Gunner. Gunner didn't even pay for it. I paid for it.
What's happening is I'm going to shoot straight because I don't got time for games type shit.
No, that's fine.
Is he said that at first, but then he keeps dying on this very odd hill, which is confusing everybody. My understanding. So tell me what, wait, are you available to talk to the mayor at 7 p.m.?
I might be, to be clear with you, I've been awake for a very long time now, so I'm probably not going to be able to talk properly. But in saying that, I don't know how I feel about going to a meeting directly with Michael Rosella right now after V. Gray just tried to arrest me at MRPD for carrying an MP5.
Arrest you?
Yes. Yes. They had a PD meeting.
We were just in a shootout.
So they had the shift, 1, 2 meeting. I don't know what one you guys are up to. I don't really attend them too often. It was the most recent shift when you guys were up at the BCSO. They were down at MRPD for the LSPD. And I walked in around midway through. I had someone in the back.
Good job, guys. Good fucking shit. Rowan, I know you're the all-star in this one.
I had, within the room briefing what had been going on. I heard a few people saying, "Oh, wow, McCallister's in here."
Take a mumble pill, and then I'm gonna do the same, and then give me a call back.
Yep, you're good, Sal. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, so, walk into the shift meeting, people are like, oh my god, McCallister's here. I'm like, okay, cool, that's kind of an odd thing to take note of. I'm just a marshal staying in the back, you know? Rosella said something on the lines of, I don't care that he's here, you know, show him or whatever. And then, B. Gray walked up to me at the very end of the shift meeting, said, McCallister, what guns do you
at the shift meeting. Okay.
Yeah, the shift meeting, yeah. And then I said, truthfully, I said, I have my revolver and my MP5. He said, McCallister, can you please turn around? I said, what do you mean? He said, I'm going to be placing you under arrest. I said, B, what crimes have I committed? He said, you're currently carrying an illegal gun. I said, what gun would that be? He said, the MP5. I said, how is that gun illegal? He said, because it was reported as part of weapon trafficking. I said, you know, no one's been charged as a part of that yet. I have not formally weapons trafficked. I was a part of the marshals after that took place. Is in the LEO Specialized Armory and within the weapons and driver's license legislation that currently stands, anything in the LEO Specialized Armory is fully legal. We walked away. I also offered to talk it out with him. As he was walking away, he just said, don't worry about it. So you just like using illegal guns.
Look, I know that there is a lot of, trust me when I say I'm probably more mad at everything than everyone else.
Yeah, I agree. It's just,
but what I'm trying to say here is like, trust me when I say there's more annoyance in my heart than probably everyone combined.
Yeah, I get it.
I am trying to channel that annoyance into a solution, ideally, because I'm looking at it like this, right? The mayor's going to do what the mayor's going to do. LSPD is going to do what LSPD is going to do. The BCSO is going to do what the BC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of it, we are currently dealing with like hyper terrorism, like all over the place, right? And so it kind of like, you know, it's kind of like talking about Tylenol being illegal or being like causing, you know.
Oh yeah,
That's what it kind of feels like in my mind, because it's like, okay, these things are cool and all, like cool arguments and all, but like, you know, let's not distract with Tylenol. Here's there's a lot of history as to how we got here. There's a lot of legal questions that have sort of arisen. For me, it's like this, and I'm going to paint it like this.
Yeah.
I put Darkstone into cuffs, right? I don't trust them, but but in the same vein, they are providing us with shit we need. I do recognize mediation through the law. I do believe as the individual that reached out to the state, to the parties, to and got clarity directly that we need legislation for these authorities. Like that was made crystal clear to us. I'll just say it came from the governor that we need legislation for it. I don't know, and I'm saying this because, like, you know, like I said, it was like 2 weeks in the making. I kept checking on people, like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Because I knew that in this window of time, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, that it wasn't being written, that we were effectively putting the entire state, a segment of not just our police in, but whatever, on standstill. So then it was put forward, right? And I recognize that there are some concerns around it, and I think concerns are valid. That's why, you know, we have these processes in place.
Exactly.
However, from what I have been told, it seems like these are things that don't even need an audit, because it's not actually a philosophical problem. It's a we just need to change some of it sort of situation. You know what I mean?
Well, that was, so my whole game, like, I can't speak on behalf of Gunner, but I'm the one who personally paid for it. The whole reason I haven't even replied with the whole, you know, is this on behalf of the marshals or whatnot thing yet is because, yes, I know Gunner's, you know, enthused about it, but I still need to have a chat with like 1 or 2 other marshals before I actually set a date and time, because I want to get their thoughts and opinions on it, because I know that they themselves were very, you know, up in arms about it, you know?
See, that actually makes fucking sense. Listen, Gunner's a dumb fuck. I'm just gonna say this straight. He has not done this any justice.
He has not.
And I think he should have left it at "this isn't mine, I don't know." But he started dying on a hill about, and maybe he's just like trying to regurgitate what your position is, but in very poor terms, let's put it.
In Gunner terms, that's normal for him.
What is your concern, so that I may have the direct information, right?
So, and I wanted to bring this directly to Rizal at the arbitration hearing. First off, he's trying to target Darkstone directly. I can see that. That's clear as fucking day. And that's fair.
I don't think it's just Darkstone, by the way.
Well, it's not just Darkstone. I see the other, you know, but Darkstone is a flaw in the system here. So, one piece of legislation I want, you know, added in on top of this. I know we can only do one at a time. You can't push too many. But why was there not like a general PMC outlier legislation put in to start off? Like, why was there not like, oh, hey, they can only operate within this scope? Because currently they're carrying around class 2s when they don't have the ability to. Like, that goes completely against any sort of citywide legislation that's been pushed.
You are correct about that. Oh, 1,000%. There are a lot. You are 1,000% correct.
Furthermore, I saw in the incident that occurred the other day, of which you were a part of, that there was a bunch of blood on the ground that we literally can't identify. Why? Because even though they're acting in a law enforcement capability, Darkstone actually don't have their DNA taken as per the DNA legislation because they're not law enforcement officers.
So this is, I'm gonna shit talk Gunner a lot. And I'm gonna go like full mask off. I'd not do this in front of Gunner because I think he's just a little too stupid, and I don't want him crying. The marshals have been broken since Dark was in charge. He ran from shift 3. He disappeared. I've known Dark for a very, very, very long time. He is someone that when I went to war with Sanguine, he led a panel to try to figure out whether or not I had probable cause to go to war. When this, like, I'm not even kidding. I turned my badge in that day because I witnessed over 100 of my people get shot down over terrorism. Our buildings were getting blown, etc., etc. This dumb fuck and these other dumb fucks, not all of them were dumb fucks on the panel, literally were like, where's your probable cause? I don't see it. And I'm like, this is a war approved by a Senate. Where did you grow up where you need peace for a war? Like, you know what I mean? There's talks about Geneva Convention, which isn't even a thing in San Andreas. Like, there's a lot of like, let me look up on Wikipedia some shit and then regurgitate it. Now this is not my way of saying just like, Dark is a nice guy, right? He's fun to have around. He's not like, you know, I don't think he's like, you know, the devil or something. It's just, he's like, you know, like like from an old TV show, you might see him as a detective, right? And, you know, he's probably a good time, but he's not he's not a manager, right? He's missing some things. He left the marshals to burn. He did. And under that, and then Gunner sort of, this is my POV, is he then inherited the problem. But the problem is that Gunner is not formally trained at all.
He is not.
And that includes some of the core, like basic legislation that we got. He's very confused about it. To the extent that even his own impeachment hearing, he doesn't understand what happened, which is fine because I think he's seeing it was a win. He doesn't
understand portions,
Correct. And so the reason I'm painting this is that from the Dark, and I know this from the horse's mouth, right? So I'm not making this shit up. It's coming right from Darkstone, and it's coming from. Is that Dark initially was contacted by an entity, which I don't want to name at the moment, because we're on the phone, and that entity put them in contact with Darkstone because Darkstone is against the faceless, etc., etc. A lot of this was not documented, and of the documentation, it was not done to an extent because both Gunner and Dark, quite frankly, chase ghosts, which is the best way I can describe it. Especially Dark, like, oh, there's a ghost. It might be this thing. Let me come up with a wild theory and just say that's it, even though there's no supporting evidence, right? Because it's fun to chase it. Is that they didn't think for a second to notify the powers that be, aka the government, to ensure that that everything was legally sound. From the you know, from what you described, right? Like PMC legislation to legislation that would allow us to procure toolings from them, right? From the horse's mouth, this is Delta One, he was told they were going to do this by Dark, followed by Gunner. And he was...
they want to do what, sorry?
Ensure that they got the sign-offs, right? He was also told that the PD would be kept appraised. Now, obviously, and I want to be clear here, this what I described right there is also an LSPD BCSO problem. Fucking these people can't communicate for shit.
No, they can't.
But the reason I'm painting all this is, once again, this is not a fuck Gunner, fuck Dark. They're just, this isn't their forte. As a consequence, we have a legislative debt, let's call it, that needs to quickly be brought up to speed. I will say that I don't think the legislative authorities are doing as much as they should on this matter. I also don't think that Gunner is doing as much as he should. Now, for clarity's sake, and as someone who reads this shit very often, there is a expectation by that we put things forward. They may write it for us. We may have to write it ourselves. I don't. It really just that comes down to who's going to do the work, right? And that's more of a conversation that can happen in a meeting, right?
Yeah.
Who's capable? What are the needs? Like, fuck, we could pay someone to do it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But even from the sound of this conversation, it's like the preliminary conversation never even took place, right? Which is sitting down and being like, where are our concerns? What do we need? My original desire and demand was Delta One, the mayors, member of the DOJ, marshal, people from the PD or whatever. Let's literally bullet point what's needed. Let's get written, and then we'll collectively push it out. Like it's this ain't rocket science.
It is that fucking simple, and that was why the bill was contested. Because I'm not gonna lie, several members of the marshals have tried to contact Rizal in regards to his bills, in regards to his opinions and whatnot in the past, and they've been left more or less on red. I found it easier to get in contact with Rizal when I was a member of the DOC versus me being a marshal. I know that he's consistently down at City Hall. I know he's always attending the PD shift meetings, but I'm a marshal. So he doesn't particularly want to talk to me unless it's shit talking me in a shift meeting to the point where, frankly, his own officers want to arrest him. It becomes a little hard to sit down with him in a face-to-face context without him spreading a bunch of shit, which is frankly not true.
I'm going to play devil's advocate, right? Because I'm a outsider that is not, I don't want to, there is no way for me, right? Because I've heard similar from Rizal about the marshals, and the truth may be somewhere in between, right? Is that other actors, may be stirring in between all it, and there's a, blah, 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 and it's resulting in this. Would you be open to, because you're not going to be able to do 7, right? Because you're probably cooked at this stage.
What even is, how many hours away is that?
That is 3 hours.
I can't promise that my brain won't be completely fried by then, but I can try to.
I think we bullet point, and look, I'm not my husband or fiance or whatever the fuck is Junior, right? I don't.
Is that what we're calling Junior these days? Yeah, right?
If he tells me or crosses a line, I fucking bitch his ass out, right?
Yeah.
I'm not bought to Rizal or anybody. I mean, quite frankly, I ain't sold nobody. I do what I think is right, for the state at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think we go into this thing. I would like us to just literally bullet point what the fuck we need, and then walk out of there. And if anyone steps out of line, don't give a fuck who they are. I'll be the one ripping assholes, right?
That is more fair.
And because, like I said, from my POV, we're arguing about Tylenol, and I'm not saying your concerns are invalid or his aren't invalid, but like when you zoom out, it looks to me like if we were on the news, this would be about Tylenol, while the state is currently under grave threat, right?
Exactly, yeah, and that was my whole point. It was like, one of my concerns with the bill was, well, okay, it mentions specifically in the clauses that were added, right? Relevant law enforcement department head, that being the sheriff of the BCO or chief of LSPD. It also fails to acknowledge, the warden of the Department of Corrections, the San Andreas State Marshal Director.
I agree with that one. That one I did not lie.
Yep.
I told him about that. He said that's not an issue. He said it was my place, and I'm like, brother, you need to be putting everything in consideration.
You need to.
Otherwise, people get confused. It's a political...
And that's why I was contesting it, yep.
Now let's say all those were added, and he did agree to that, mind you. Now, once again, from his POV, he's been trying to contact Gunner. Gunner won't talk to him, apparently. I don't know, but let's just say...
they just can't contact one another.
Let's pretend that, this is a Romeo and Juliet situation, right?
Yeah.
That these people, right, are just hating each other, and they'll find a reason, right?
Yep.
So let's say we get those other departments in, right? And quite frankly, I think it should be defined as law enforcement, whatever. Put all the agencies in. He's already agreed to that.
Yep.
The second thing, the PMC thing, I agree it needs to be written. And so that there's a level of authorization. I want to expand and say that the reason that there's so much damn confusion is because they were authorized under the helm of the marshals for so long, people don't even realize it's illegal. You get what I'm saying?
Straight up. Anything that they have done onwards from the alleged weapons trafficking thing has been completely and entirely illegal. We have not deputized them in any way, shape,
I'm glad you said that, because that's part of what... Listen, I was about to fucking, like... Me and Pred literally spoke to Gunner while you were... I think you were, like, thinking about something in the computer room. He quite literally told me on the call yesterday, and then today, because I was losing my damn brain cells, that for some reason he keeps bringing up the impeachment and saying that nothing illegal happened. I don't think he recognizes that the impeachment was particularly about a state of emergency and whether or not it needed to be authorized. Every other angle could have been tackled, but it was never brought to light. In fact, I'm going to go further, is that if, don't take my word for it, look at the transcript of the impeachment.
Oh, I read it.
Oh, very good. These things need to be... Darkstone cannot have carte blanche. That doesn't make sense. This ain't their state. I have them on record and literally saying they don't believe in the Constitution. He said that to me to my face in interrogation. The only reason I chose not to press charges that day is for the bigger picture. I can recognize them as China or whatever you want to call it, right? And recognize that I need their shit. So how do you do that? You do it in a way where they are able to function in certain parameters, right, that are not unreasonable, which, by the way, they've been doing. That's why they send the 311s. I got them to do that shit so that we know that when they have an operation, we must have advanced notice so it's not just happening. And that when they do operate, we signal, let's say, an okay or a stand down, right? And under that, fuck it. You know what I mean? And see what happens.
I agree, I mean, it's a shame I never bothered to get my state bar license before I became a marshal, because I would be working to fix a lot of this shit right now, but unfortunately I can't.
You can. I mean, just go get a bar license. Just throw it your way.
I have been told by the DOJ that I'm not allowed to obtain it because they only give it out to people who are willing to become probationary lawyers, and as I cannot become
That's
one,
inaccurate.
Yeah, well, that's what the justices have told me.
All of them?
I have no idea. Specifically Gates and Falconer, I believe, but I can always try Grayson and
keep in mind that every single member of the judiciary has a different opinion. One is quite literally, we prosecute, and historically we have implicitly had a license, and this isn't something that a hill they want to die on, because once again you get into pedantics. Well, then technically law enforcement can never prosecute.
Exactly, and that was my whole point. Like, what can I prosecute my own cases now?
Well, this is why you need to vote for me for director. I'm not retarded, you know what I mean? Look. I got to be the diplomat at the end of the day.
I mean, I'm not voting for V. He's already threatened to fire all of us.
This whole thing, by the way, is not for the vote. I don't really give a shit at the end of the day. I'm going to do what I need. But
I'm well aware.
My general point here is let's try to fix this so we can move on.
Exactly, and that's my whole I still don't know who I'm voting for, frankly.
Look, I mean,
but I know I'm not voting for V.
You need to vote for who you believe to be the most appropriate, whether that's Gunner, whether that's V, whether it's for myself. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who is in these positions. The three departments need to work together. You know what I mean?
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
Otherwise, we might as well just sign up at the Faceless, because they're going to end up winning.
Straight up. Don't even get me fucking started on that shit. In saying that, there was another amendment that the marshals themselves wanted to have added in. That being that there is the piece of martial legislation that specifically mentions that the SASM may be provisioned with specialized and non-standard law enforcement equipment to fulfill their mandate of protecting the Constitution of San Andreas against terrorists, enemies of the state, treasonous, and any other threats to the fundamental order of the state in San Andreas. The problem is with this specific bill, you know, especially with clause number 2, where it specifically mentions the relevant legislative authority, that being the LSCMO or the BCMO, it specifically states that, you know, you need one of their approval, depending on who's your relevant law. Like, I can't fucking talk anymore. I'm sorry, Brian. Depending on whoever's your relevant legislative authority. The marshals don't have that. Our relevant legislative authority is the governor.
What?
Unless we get both to sign.
So I get what you're saying, but I wouldn't. So as someone that's been in some of these conversations and very much a nerd, not everything. I can tell you that I don't think everything is perfect in our law. Obviously, right?
Yes.
We live in San Andreas.
110%.
However, I believe the intention is that collective is our authority. If we have concerns, they are to do it, or we are to present it to them. Even hearing that you're not able to obtain a bar light, like, these are things that need to be sorted, because I mean, I'll put it this way. Man, some of this makes my head hurt. These are not roadblocks that should exist.
No, they are not.
But it has to start with the conversation, right? Because keep in mind, these are probably real problems, but like we just need need someone that's not gunner presenting it. You need the pit bull. You know what I mean? Because people aren't afraid of a poodle, but if there's a pit bull, it's like, okay, well, as much as, I mean, it's politics, right? If you ain't got a pit bull, it's gonna be like, well, this threat means, like, I don't have to do it. What are they gonna do? You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that was. It was just more or less like, okay, the DOC and the marshals, like, who do they go to? Who is their relevant legislative authority?
It's everybody. You know what I mean?
Okay, but then a counterpoint I brought up to Gates was, what if we get another Princess Elena in office? No? What, I need both signatures? Yeah, but how long is that going to take? What if I need that equipment in my armory right here, right now?
Wait, run the scenario back? I think I may have misunderstood.
So, let's just say, I don't know, there are people running around with rocket launchers. Right? This is a far-fetched scenario, but it's still something I need to account for.
This sounds like the one I told Gunner. I fucking told him, this guy, I tried to explain something to him, and he's like, he told me everything is legal for us to use. And I'm like, brother, let me explain something. If you had an RPG and Forehead was running around and like that's all you had, would you fire it and would that be legal? And he said yes.
That is a no.
It started with it would be reckless. It might depend on the situation. I'm like, let's say all of that's off the table. He said yes. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? The laws are what binds every entity in the state. But please continue. RPGs.
So let's just say someone has an RPG, right?
Right.
I, as a marshal, then want to get an RPG entered into the army. So we have that and the capability to counter it. Like, let's just say they're in a very fortified bunker and they're just firing off that RPG non-stop, you know? And I go up to one of the mayors and I say, hey, can you sign this? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then I go up to the Plain County mayor, who, heaven forbid, isn't Junior Huntley, because I don't know, maybe he gets impeached, or maybe someone, you know, takes over from him, or maybe they're just completely corrupt. I don't know. Who cares?
Yep.
And then it's another Princess Elena's type situation.
You're talking about a time-sensitive situations?
Yes.
So, like, tomorrow we're at the brink of war, but now we got to wait for legislation?
Yes.
So that's where state of emergency should be utilized.
Exactly, and that's where I wanted to carve out.
Oh, I mean, I think that's a great argument, and I don't think the mayors are going to be opposed to that. I'm going to go further and suggest that I don't disagree that things that are in the armory should inherently be legal. It's the process by which they were delivered. Now, I want to be clear here because I think our goal as law enforcement is to live in a very fruitful San Andreas. So if that delivery happened in a way that was fruitful, that's better than it just showing up one day by locals. right? But it does expose some things, and that's what we need to also tackle, right? Is that
Exactly.
if a delivery is made, great. If Dark Zone is that mechanism, that's great. Let's get the little things in place to make it happen. I don't even think it takes more than half a damn page. Now, in regards to what you're saying about what if this thing happens, I think that's why this, I'm still confused why there wasn't a meeting with everybody and just bullet pointed, and then that
because everyone has been in each other's throats for the past month and a half. Yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay.
And that's the whole reason why. Like, I can't leave the marshal's office without there being a note stapled to the front door saying that I am a DOC guard that's paid to be a shill for Gunner Kane. It has just been like this now for months. I can't attend 78's calls because PD officers will literally tell me to go away as they're being shot.
There's been a lot of damage done before you
and I
came.
Get that, but it's just
there needs to be a reset, right?
There needs to be a reset. It's ridiculous at this point. Also, frankly speaking here, the damage wasn't done when Dark became director. It was when Brittany Angel left. It was long before Dark overtook.
Well, I can't speak to that. Yeah.
Well, I can, because the marshals didn't have SOPs once Angel left.
Wait, what do you mean?
Anyway. Oh, so not many people tend to know this one because it was very overlooked in the transcript. Everyone just saw, oh yeah, Gunner Kane lied. Gunner didn't lie. The copies of the SOPs that were given to Gunner Kane by Craig Barrett, as confirmed by Craig Barrett recently, were merely a draft and were never actually in practice. They were a literal copy of the Brittany Angel SOPs, but Gunner Kane wasn't aware of it at the time. They mentioned that deputy state marshals are not allowed to patrol on their own, even though Gunner, who was a deputy state marshal at the time the SOPs were sent to him, was completely and entirely allowed to patrol on his own. Furthermore, there were other things in there that were just completely and entirely incorrect. There are people who have been running around saying that, you know, every time we bring out the APC, we need to declare a state of emergency as per our own SOPs. Our SOPs have never mentioned that. We gave a copy of the SOPs to the justices, and they confirmed that.
Wait, so I've seen SOP a month ago, and it was like I don't know, it was like a white and blue like document, like a 3.1 something. Yep. That one?
I'm not quite sure as to what the Angel one specifically looked like, but from what Gunner has so this is what Gunner's confirmed to me, what Barrett has confirmed, right? So Gunner confirmed the Brittany Angel SOPs and the Craig Barrett SOPs are the exact same. Furthermore, I know that Flores was never supplied with a copy of the SOPs when he became a marshal. He became a marshal back in, like, I think March. And he's still a marshal to this day. He only just now received, you know, Gunner's SOPs when the whole impeachment trial thing happened. I went back.
Yeah.
Upon months upon months upon months upon months upon months upon months.
You're talking about the Google Doc, right?
Yes.
Okay, very interesting.
I went back upon email chain shit. I went back upon report shit. We have everything that we have other than the SOPs inside of the MDT, including our roster, including everything else. But it should have been in there. It was not. It was not in the email chain at all. The email chain only goes back to March. We had no copy of the SOPs anywhere. It wasn't Gunner's fault. When Gunner confronted Barrett on it, he literally said, and I quote, "Oh, I guess you're right, Gunner. The SOPs that I sent to you were only a draft and were never meant to actually be used in practice." This was well after the impeachment hearing, well after the legislative pushes. This was like a week.
Is it? But here's my counter argument, and I don't want to lay on this too long, is we don't have SOPs in the PD. They weren't updated for a year and a half because Turner slept through it. Maybe Moss, I don't know too much about it. And, you know, Bones always was we just didn't have people that gave a fuck. Within the past 3 weeks, we made an initiative where I made tags and I said, all this is going in here.
I saw the MDT push,
Yeah. And we got something in place. So while you know, I will say that I think the lack of is still falls on both of their helms, right?
Yes. So it was negligence on
SOPs
Barrett's part, and it was negligence on, I guess, Weiss's part and Dark's part. But it was never negligence on Gunner's part.
I see. Okay. So he just didn't. But hasn't Gunner been like marshal for? You're saying he didn't lie, right? Right.
No lie.
Was that okay? Understood. Okay.
I confirmed it. Like the second I became a marshal, I was like, okay, this is a part of the transcript. Everyone's gonna accuse me of being a Gunner Kane shill. I might as well be a shill with the fucking facts.
I don't give a listen. I don't have. I arrest my friends. You know what I mean? Like I
get it.
So for me, it's like, you know, it's what's right's right, what's wrong's wrong. The truth is more important.
That's why I looked into it. Yeah.
And here's let's kind of leave it at this, right? I think we're on generally the same page. I don't really think we're far apart. It doesn't sound like you brought up anything that Gunner did, because like I said, he's dying on a hill about the mayor can't control the marshals or some shit, which he was arguing that's what was brought up. I don't think that's a concern you brought up here. I think maybe it was just mismodulated.
I don't think Gunner wants the mayors themselves to have a say in our op. I do think that is one of Gunner's points.
With our what?
Because I do not think that Gunner wants a say in what the mayors have in any of our armor, whether it be LSPD, BCSO, or marshals.
I think that's so simple of a. So the thing is, that's such a simple solution. It's just anything that is in the armory is what it is. You know what I mean? And authorized by utilization. Blah 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 blah. It is the delivery mechanism that has been the only contention point.
Yes.
And that
I wholeheartedly agree.
And the next is the like mercenary shit, right? Which once again is the confusion is coming from.
Yes.
Well, I deputized them. I don't think he knows what that means. Nor was there ever actually any deputization. I was literally standing there.
The oath thing, and then
Sorry?
Yeah, the whole no oath thing, and then I deputized them, but you didn't deputize them. Yeah, I've heard this point like 1,000 times.
Yeah, because otherwise tomorrow
I'm very, very tired of this fucking point.
Yeah, but I line that up in that because we need the solution for it, right? Who cares what there was a thought of? It just wasn't any. There needs I understand that. Look, there's even PD that haven't taken the damn oath. All right, so
there are DSC that haven't. I know that for a fact.
Right. So these are like the little things that might be pedantic. At the end of the day, let's if you're awake at 7, let's see if we can do that meeting at 7, and maybe we can get this hashed out and literally post it up like on the real quick.
Frankly, like my whole thing is like my idealistic version of this is we get rid of the current version of it. Frankly, I do actually really love the line of, where is it? Police issued firearms include, as part of their duties, law enforcement officers will be issued a weapons license permitting use of approved police issued firearms. That always should have been in there. I don't know why it wasn't. Fantastic work to them on that part. The rest of it, like, if they're so concerned on the delivery method, just make a PMC bill. Like, that's all that needs to be added. It's not rocket science. I don't know why we're going about such a roundabout way. I don't know why I'm having police officers bring me aside and telling me that my guns are illegal when they're already in the armory. It's just...
Here's what I think is going to be more productive, right? Is because at the end of the day, different people are going to have different write-in styles. So your perception of it is going to change, is going to be different than someone else's perception.
Exactly.
And so... I think it would be more conducive for you to put down. This is what I told Gunner, right? Is I would bullet point what you need in it and bullet point what you have a problem with in it, right? And that's an easier conversation to then have because otherwise we will risk in said meeting to fall into possibly a philosophical debate on how something's written and perceived as opposed to what we're all collectively there for. You know what I mean? So
I mean, I wholeheartedly agree. I know that Gunnar did want Blunt around because Blunt is really, really good with legal documentation.
Who is?
I wouldn't be surprised if Peter's going to be around for that one as well. But I'm not quite sure if they will be today. I do still have to check in with them. But I would love to at least have a chat.
Could you set a date time and let's just send it? Because look, I'm gonna just keep it a buck, right? What's gonna end up happening is what I'm trying to avoid here. That arbitration hearing is going to be non-productive given what I'm hearing, right?
The fact that entirely new bills need to be introduced,
right, and especially where like it's just so much to go over because it's not a. It makes sense if it's like a. Should this be legal versus that be legal, right? Like something that's like very cut and dry. And then it goes to vote, and then that in and of itself can be a shit show because whichever way it lands, we're still left with grossly different ideas of what is and isn't, and everyone's just going to be pissed, right? And there will be no solution.
Exactly. So, and that's why I do want a rewritten bill. But again, I will have a sit down with him. I don't think the arbitration is the go, as you've already said. We don't bill.
Yeah.
So I think that is the play.
Okay.
I'll have a chat with Gunnar.
When you say the rewrite, please send me the bullet points when you can. I'm going to do a read of it as well.
So I will. It was just there were a whole bunch of tiny little notes, but it was just there were things that we've experienced before. We wanted to have added to it. There are other things that, like, didn't
we have
really
an outside party writing legislation for us without understanding exactly what our issues are. And I want to put this on Rizal. At the end of the day, it's like there was a massive communication breakdown as to what's actually needed versus what is perceived to be needed.
Exactly.
Right? Okay. All right.
And I think we can do that. But I'm not going to take up any more of your time.
Well,
I'm sure that you're a very, very busy man. I'll be sure to get those bullet points to us.
Okay. Easy peasy. Hey, separately, just so it's on your radar, magistrate died yesterday.
Yes. I believe.
Yep. This is not my case. I did step in to make sure people got attached to it and then gave direction. I was able to tie two names to it through cross-referencing.
I saw the ex-marshal and Dax marshal.
Correct. And then I noticed, the clothing purchases, it's too close to be a coincidence. I mean, it could be, right? And then we found the car abandoned. So everything sort of lines up. Reality is they would have to have the gun, right? Otherwise we're fucked.
Exactly.
Neither Dax will get raided. They could have thrown the thing away. I am trying to get someone to do a contextual stop. Reality is, I don't think most people know how to execute it without breaking rights. So that might end up being a dead case. But people do know.
Petros is going to smell that from a mile away.
That's very possible. But I think there is a different approach to take, which is figuring out what their connection might be.
Exactly.
So, and then kind of going from there. But anyways.
To tell you the truth, to be completely open and transparent, Maxine Juniper came up to me yesterday and asked me for assistance on that one because she knew that I'd dealt with cases like that before.
Oh, good.
So I helped her with the phone tap shit. I helped her narrow down a few things, and then we also looked at the car's fuel gauge because it was determined that they paid for fuel at one point. I don't remember how or why.
Right. It was about 20 minutes later
if it was her car that was used.
Okay. Hell yeah.
It was not.
You mean the DOA's vehicle, right?
Yeah. We wanted to see if they'd reparked it at Paywood.
Understood. Yep.
And they had not. Maybe they forced her at gunpoint to give them keys, and then I mean, The text to Falconer was very suspicious because she'd never communicated with Falconer, which is odd considering the fact that she was a judge. But I digress. But yeah.
Okay.
That was that case. I mean, she doesn't really need my help any further on it, so I've just been, going hands off with it.
Understood. All right. It's worth checking in just to make sure they're making forward progress. Genuinely, it seems like, look, she seems intelligent, but this definitely seemed like I don't think PD gave a fuck that judge died, if I'm going to keep it a buck.
No, they never do.
Yeah. So,
it's always, the marshals should be dealing with it. And then they'll take it over and then they'll say, why aren't the marshals dealing with this?
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. You're not going to get that from my department.
Understand. You'll understand that if you ever become the director, Brian. You will understand the pain.
Brother, I keep in mind I've done this like lap a couple times over.
Yeah.
It's all about how you navigate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that, but it's still painful.
Anyway. I enjoy pain, believe it or not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be the damn captain right now. Anyways,
so do I. Why else would I have signed up in a time like this?
Yep. Hell yeah. All right.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Oh, Jay, actually, just real quick. You said earlier something about like other people, other candidates. Why did no one else put up their name?
Oh, I can actually go through and say that. So when it came to the marshal specifically, we had other candidates that we wanted to nominate. A few of them didn't get back to us in time.
Understood.
Well, actually, all of them didn't get back to us in time. We had a marshal that wanted to be nominated, but as he already knows, the marshals voted on it, and they decided that they didn't really want him as a candidate.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And then the other talk was because Huntley suggested at one point, Gates suggested at one point, Gunner suggested at one point putting me forward, and I said, guys, I don't want this. So they didn't put me forward.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah, and then there have also been chats, like apparently someone's been spreading shit around recently that, we're trying to promote people to command positions within the state marshals so that we can have more influence on the, DOC elections, which makes no sense because we don't really need influence. Everyone's just going to vote Yui. But
on the D. I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's been a lot of odd rumors surrounding the marshals recently.
Rumors are always going to be a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I get that, but it's just most of those things could be straightened out with one conversation.
So no one was stopped from being able to run, right?
No one was stopped.
Okay.
It was literally a marshal's vote, and
I think the reason why there's confusion over it is, it's nominations, right? People put their names up, get a fair shake. So for the nominations to kind of be controlled was the thing that looks odd, right?
Gunner should have outright said on the docket posting that he went with the marshals and had them take a vote. He didn't fucking say that.
That's the thing, right? Because it looks like
but a vote did take place.
From an outside POV, it looks like Gunner was like, I'm nominating myself with all 3 nomination votes.
It just smells.
Right?
Yep.
So, okay. Understood. All right. Well, thank you.
I'm currently talking with them. Give me a few.
All right. I will.
Okay. Yep.
Let's aim for 7. I'm gonna go see if I can get in contact with him, and then if you're around, you're around. Please do try to get a bullet point, because worst case, I will push this so something can be set forward for when we can mate, or maybe it becomes like a remote conversation over fucking Google Doc comments. Who knows?
Right.
So, all right.
I appreciate you, and I will see you in a later
All
day.
right. Likewise. You take care now. Bye.
Yep, see you, man.